What would you say to a younger dentist just starting out in the profession as like professional advice and life advice?
Oof, how long's a piece of string, right? I've got a bunch of pieces. So where do I start there? I think, there's a lot of advice that's thrown out there for younger dentists already. And when I looked at it and applied it to me, I was like, that doesn't make sense, right? Like, for example, they'll say, go and do everything, try everything and find your feet. Yeah, that's also true. But they say the wise man learns from his errors, the wiser man learns from the errors of others, right? There's a bunch of courses I wish I never did. Like I did these courses, with big names on them, like King's College or something. And then you go there, you spend a pretty penny, and then half the morning's on smile design. Now, I'm not saying it shouldn't be that way, but I just don't think it was justified, like half that day's fee for smile design. I'm a much more pragmatic person. Let's go with that. That could have easily have been like a video lecture. Hint, something's coming soon.
Yes.
But yeah, so like there's just things like that, right, where they say, go do everything. I'm not too sure. I think actually making friends is probably the best advice. Have good friends and ask them and say, leverage a network and say, right, did that work for you? They'll be like, yeah, you know what, I did it. Didn't make sense because the cleanup was too much. Leverage friends, right? But we're dentists, so we're taught in school, college, sixth form, uni. You get your grade, right? We're not encouraged to collaborate. No. It's the opposite of the army. The army is there is no one-man band.
Yes.
Unless you're like SAS. Absolutely. And even that's just sometimes, right? Even more time you're going to be in a group.
Got it.
But we're like, you're a one-man band, that's your grade, that's what you are, but we don't know how to collaborate. And if we collaborate in uni, they say you're cheating. It's very hyper-competitive. Whereas me, I'm much more like kind of like, what do you know that I don't know, and vice versa, right? So I reckon there's a lot to be said about young dentists making a good chunk of friends, talking to them often. Not being so secretive and stuff. There's little to be gained. It's a very abundant world. You don't need to kind of think, because I did, right? And I'm speaking from experience. All of these things I'm saying, they're not scathing of anyone else. They're scathing of myself.
Because that's your journey.
Yeah, exactly. When I had a great curve, I didn't want no one to know.
Yeah.
All right? And then I started to share it a bit with people in my practice and all the rest. But they didn't care, Sometimes people have got their blinkers on, right?
Of course.
They're just not interested either, right? But now, like I said, it's a big old passion, and share it with the world, man, because the mission for me is a little bit bigger than just like, teaching a restorative course, right? It's a one-day restorative course. You learn all direct composite restorations, in one day. And it is that pragmatic. Like, we've got people that come and do the program on a Saturday, Monday lunchtime, they're sending case that they've done. Like it does what it says on the tin type of deal. But it's not just about convincing you that this is a fantastic matrix, which trust me, it is. It's crazy. But it's about things that are problematic for us and patients, such as, an example would be overhangs, right? I work mainly on a referral basis. A lot of the time, the teeth I'm restoring are pretty subgingival, pretty badly damaged. And usually there's an overhanging amalgam nearby. That's not the patient's fault. That's us. So I'm saying the mission then becomes, how do we remove that completely, right? So we don't cause that to patients anymore, because you keep saying to the patient, oh, you know what, you're having too much sugar. Patient's not an idiot. Patient thinks, hold on, wait, so this tooth that you did 2 years ago, it needs redoing now, but all the other ones don't need redoing now. They're not stupid. They can detect, especially your disingenuousness. When you talk, they can, oh, I smell something funny, They're not silly. So we can remove that, straight away. Overhangs, open contacts. We can remove that. All the things that are iatrogenic in nature that we cause, we can remove that. So it's a big old mission. We can really improve the health of the nation, the globe, that level.
Yeah. Well, gum health is so important, obviously.
Totally, right? I mean, it's a whole interface, right? It's resto, perio, it's all together, right? It's not just isolated, but sometimes we think of it as such, that they're isolated, but they're certainly not, right? So we really focus on anatomical contact areas so we don't get food packing, we haven't got overhangs. And the beauty of it is, let's say you're really old school and you still use amalgam, well, guess what? It works for that too. And the problems with amalgams is you put a squeeze lens on, like a straight man, you start packing the amalgam and it pops out the bottom. Yeah. Because you're really trying to get this well condensed amalgam, which we've all done it. But do you take a bite ring after to check? How many dentists do that? 1 in 100? 2 in 100? Oh, something ridiculous like that, right? But then we see it later. And then we see the caries and then we pretend we don't see it. To me, that's a disservice to the patients, right? So my focus is really simple when it comes to my patients. I just do really, really good work, treat them really well, and that's it, man. Nothing that fancy. I mean, I'm a dinosaur. I only got an Instagram, I think, in December or something like that. I'm such a dinosaur, right?
Now you're catching up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to catch up with you, mate. Yeah?